Kevin, congrats on Pig Hill. This is a really interesting film. It went a lot of places I wasn't expecting. I'm actually from Pennsylvania, so I was very excited to learn about these pig people cannibal neighbors I have that I wasn't really aware of.
Yeah.
What was most fun about working on a film that's based on, a real life folk legend and, organically happened? So like you have that fun basis to kind of build off of.
Yeah, I mean it was it was great to take Nancy's book and Jared Burris's screenplay and just like, okay, these things are, people been talking about this thing, they've been living this thing, and so it's like, all right, what are the expectations? What do people believe? What's real? What's not? And so you kind of mix that up in a blender, and it's like, okay, this what's my take on it? What am I thinking? And then but at the end of the day, really, what's Carrie's take on it? What's the character, and what's she going through? And I didn't want to make light of any of that, so that was kind of delicate balance, but that stuff is real out there. They talk about it, the satellite tower, all that, like that stuff's, so that was really interesting shooting at some of these real locations too.
Yeah, I heard that you shot in Meadville. What do you think that really added to the experience actually being on location? That would just creep me out, I think.
You know, it was great. The people there are fantastic, and it lent an authenticity to the movie. It felt like, this stuff could really be going on, and that's what I liked about it with our actors and the characters. It's like, you feel like they live in Meadville, so that was kind of the thing, is just to get it real, try to make it as and interesting as possible. So yeah, the places we shot were and what's amazing about that town is like they're so close to each other. So you can go shoot one place here and then go, and you're not like, indie film time, it's time and money, right? And so sometimes it's like breaking out location, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose a half a day or something. And I didn't get to do that on this. So I got to build a big canvas for an indie film because of the locations and how central it was. And um, really, again, grounded it into really what's happening there. Um, the townspeople knew about it. The book was popular. So that all was fun to do.
How was it speaking with the locals about the myth and getting to hear firsthand from, these people that kind of grew up hearing about these whispers and learning about it?
I mean, it was great. It was like research, right? So every time you talk to somebody, you just hear a different opinion or a different thing. It's like, oh, okay, I could maybe take something of that or whatever. But what was also cool was like you just wanted to respect it, So it's like this thing people have been talking about and whatever, and there are videos of them going to the hill, and it's like, okay, I need to respect this. I was coming from out of town. I didn't want to come in and it's like just some out of towner and just do it. It's like, no, I really need to respect this material. And the subject matter, what we're doing was very intense, right? So I always want to attack it like that. There's a respect to this. And so, yeah, but it was great. And the townspeople, they were extras in the movie. They would always, every day, they'd be talking about it. They were so inviting, and it was a great place to shoot.
About 15 minutes into the film, there is a pig baby birth scene. That kind of just lets everybody know exactly what they're in for in this film. How is it kind of setting the tone there and really showing that this film's going to go all out because it gets intense and it gets even way more intense as the film goes on.
Yeah. That was an interesting, that was, I read that and I was like, okay, man, how do we pull this thing off? And I was like, okay, well, we got to make it feel as real and intense. And it is, I wanted to get it to the breaking the movie into reels, like that first reel. I needed to get that there because now, like you said, it's the hook, right? That's the first thing that really, it's like the opening, but that, it's like, okay, this is the ride. Are you into doing this? Are you, when you're watching this movie, you see that scene, it's like, okay, now you're on for the ride. Are you down for this? And so that was kind of the whole thing was like I knew that was a pivotal moment of the movie. And Jason Baker did the puppet for the pig, which he did a fantastic job. He did the black phone mask for the grabber and Terrifier 3. So he did all the effects for this and the pig people masks and stuff. And he did a great job. So, but yeah, it was just the idea of trying to get into also Carrie's head and what's going on with her and how she would see this. And a big movie for me that was an influence was like Jacob's Ladder with Tim
Mm.
Robbins, the original. Um, the idea of the surreal other world that he was experiencing. So
I wanted to ask you about finding the tone in this film because when there's something inherently heightened, like pig people, there's like an inherent campiness to it.
yeah.
But those that like boot it up on their computer or go to a theater clearly want to go on a ride and are accepting that.
Mhm.
So how is it kind of finding that tone that works for the film?
Well, I kind of like that, right? Like it is kind of goofy and stuff, but then it's kind of interesting. Like even if it's goofy, you're like, okay, well, how are they going to do that, or what is it? What? And then so then you start peeling the layers and start going into the mystery, and then the thing, and then is it real? Is it not? And start going down that road. And then I'm trying to make it where it makes a sharp left turn, and that was kind of the whole plan going in. Like I said, the third act really loved what we do on the third act, and I wanted to do something that it didn't throw it where it's like, oh, just do it for do it. Like if you rewatch it or something, it's like, okay, it we're setting you up. You can see a little things are here. So always trying to make it organic and real and natural as possible.
And you mentioned Jason did the puppets for the pigs. How was it just coming up with the pig people designs? Because there's a lot of ways to take it. You could do more humanoid, you can do more pig. How
Yep.
was it kind of trying to find a balance there?
It's the emotional thing, right? We're just working on a bunch of things, and it's like one artist rendering or something hits you, and you're like, "Oh, that's it." But then you're like a Frankenstein. It's like, but what if we take? I like this, but I didn't like the snout here. But we take this, we put it over here, and now you're creating, and now you're. I was really worried, like I just didn't want to do a Spirit of Halloween costume, right? And you could do it. If you go to Spirit of Halloween, they got pig masks. And so it's like, okay, but how do we do it and make it a real and original? And Jason did such a great job. But yeah, it's like show me everything. It reminds me of when I was a kid, you do the suicide drink at 7-Eleven, the Slurpees or the big gulps, Mountain Dew, Coke, Sprite, root beer. So it's like that's what we did with the mask. Because like I had all these different masks. And it's like I like this here, da, 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 da. And it came up with the pig people.
I love that Cineverse is involved because it just seems like a perfect fit. What does it mean for you to have a backer that really embraces going all out and isn't afraid to really embrace these films that tackle some very controversial subject matter as the twists later on in this film show?
I love Cineverse. And I respect them greatly. They've been such a fantastic partner on this movie. They're one of the rare companies out there that are doing these just really cool, edgy movies, right? Releasing these, movies that back in the day, there were a little more distributors out there. There are not that many anymore. Everybody's wanting to play it safe and everything. So Cineverse, to me, when you hear them, when you see them, it's like, okay, edgy, cool, different. I'm in. So I'm very happy to be partnered with Cineverse.
And my last question for you. The first film of yours I saw was Willy's Wonderland, and I've been keeping up with you ever since. Is there any update on a sequel? There's still a demand there from the
There is,
Willys
man, and
heads.
we have some really cool ideas for it, and hopefully, maybe one day it'll happen. I mean, and, I know Nick was interested; he's interested in doing something, so we'll see. You never know. That's the thing about film industry, man. It's like one day, it's like, I mean, look at these movies, right? That just happened. It's like 20 years, and all of a sudden now they're doing a sequel. He's like, what? I mean, Beetlejuice, right? I don't think they're going to never do a sequel to Beetlejuice, so never say never, it would be great if we did one for sure.
Fingers crossed. Kevin, thank you so much for your time today, and congrats on the film. I love that you really took a swing with it, and it's really interesting to watch.